And that's really because we don't need a PowerPoint presentation or a stage to show people how we truly feel. Our bodies are doing it for us, in real time, every single second of the day. We are literally conveying a massive magnitude of information without ever even opening our mouths. There's a great saying that really hits the nail on the head. The body doesn't lie. You can't fool people unless you're a phenomenal actor. Think about it. From the African savanna 100,000 years ago, where spotting a bodily threat meant the difference between life and death, all the way to modern-day airport security, our survival has absolutely depended on this ancient, hidden code. It's a system of communication that's completely innate
Let's kick things off
to
with
what
section
it
one,
means to be
the
a human
mask
being.
and the microexpression. Let's kick things
So
off.
we're starting with the most heavily controlled part of our entire body, the human face. Just consider the sheer mechanical complexity of our biology for a second. There are exactly 43 different muscles in the face. 43. Think about that. That's 43 tiny biological pulleys and levers just waiting to be fired by your cranial nerves the exact moment you experience an emotion. And when they work together in various combinations, those 43 muscles can create over 10,000 distinct expressions. 10,000. It's basically an incredibly high-resolution display monitor for your internal emotional state. For the past 40 years, researchers have meticulously studied, analyzed, and codified every single functional movement your face can make into a system that completely breaks down our emotional expressions. Out of those 10,000 expressions, scientists have actually isolated 7 universal core emotions. We've got joy, surprise, contempt, sadness, anger, disgust, and fear. Research confirms that these 7 core expressions are completely innate and universal across all cultures. And how do we know this for absolutely sure? Well, because of blind Olympic athletes. Researchers studied athletes who've been completely blind since birth, meaning they have literally never seen another human face, and found they produce these exact same expressions perfectly when they win or lose a match. It's hardwired right into our DNA. And this brilliantly illustrates exactly why we have these expressions. They aren't just social signals, they're biological reflexes. Take disgust, for instance. Wrinkling your nose in disgust actually physically cuts off your nasal passages. Why? To help you avoid ingesting harmful toxins or spoiled food. The widening of your eyes in fear physically expands your visual field so you can spot a predator faster. Every single universal expression has a profound evolutionary purpose designed to keep us alive.
Which brings us to section 2.
The neural tug of war. So what happens when we try to suppress these ancient hardwired reflexes to tell a lie or, just to be polite? Can we just turn off our biology? Well, the short answer is no, we absolutely can't. When you try to fake an emotion, it causes a violent neural tug of war. First, the genuine emotion triggers instinctually. Then, your conscious mind realizes you need to hide it, and it fiercely fights for control. And the result? A microexpression. It's a lightning flash of your true emotion that leaks out totally against your will, often lasting just a fraction of a second, right before that fake expression can take over. Let's look at how this plays out on the biggest stages. When analyzing high-stakes political communication, researchers contrast differing styles of projecting sincerity. On one side, you have Bill Clinton, who utilized highly controlled, targeted illustrator gestures, like his famous finger-pointing and intense, hole-burning eye contact during his infamous denial. It's highly skilled, incredibly focused, and used specifically to control the narrative. On the flip side, experts highlight Donald Trump's unrestricted, gut-level emotional displays. Regardless of your politics, his gestures match his facial expressions in a way that reads as raw emotion, directly triggering our own instinctual communication systems. But emotional deception usually fails spectacularly when the stakes are life and death. And this is specifically because of the complex corrugator muscles between the eyes. We see this leakage perfectly in the tragic Penny Boudreau case. She went on national television pleading for her missing daughter. She wiped away tears, her voice cracked. But researchers noticed a glaring anomaly. Her televised plea lacked the involuntary engagement of her distress muscles, those corrugator muscles that naturally pull together and up when we are truly devastated. Instead, she actually looked surprised and occasionally leaked quick flashes of anger. This biological mismatch tipped off investigators to a deadly lie, and they eventually discovered she had actually murdered her own daughter.
section 3.
That takes us right into
section.
As we move downward, away from the face, we actually get significantly closer to the truth. FBI counterintelligence experts know a major secret. While we spend our entire lives training our faces to be polite and to deceive, the feet have absolutely no social convention. They are completely untethered from polite society. We just don't train them to lie,
which makes them one of the most accurate barometers of our true feelings.
Let's decode the specific movements so you can actually read this in real time. If a couple's toes are pointing toward each other, it indicates a strong connection and genuine interest. If you're talking to someone and their torso is facing you but their feet are turning away, that signals a powerful subconscious desire to leave. And bouncing or shifting, that implies a readiness for immediate action or high stress. Whether they point towards someone we adore or pivot away to secretly signal an exit, our feet are continuously revealing our true, unvarnished intentions.
The comfort
Now,
versus
let's jump to
discomfort
section 4.
paradigm. The comfort
So how do we
versus
systematically
discomfort
decode this
paradigm.
behavior to spot hidden tension? First off, forget the old Hollywood myth of shifty eyes meaning someone is lying. That is simply not backed by science at all. Instead, behavioral experts rely on a highly accurate binary baseline, comfort versus discomfort. Humans are remarkably binary like this. On the comfort side, we see things like crossed legs in a social setting, mutual grooming, and leaning in. These are high comfort displays. On the discomfort side, we see ventilating the skin by pulling at socks or collars, lip compression, and touching the neck. And this brilliantly illustrates how severe discomfort physically manifests. Covering the suprasternal notch, that little dip right at the base of your neck, is a deeply hardwired physiological distress signal. When someone is secretly struggling, extremely stressed, or outright lying, they leak these physical soothing behaviors to comfort themselves. They might wring their hands, stroke their hair, or touch their neck. It's quite literally the body trying to pacify
Moving
a
on to
stressed out
section
brain.
5. The primal
Moving on to
puppeteer.
section
5.
To
The
truly
primal
understand why we do this involuntarily, we have to look inward, straight into the primitive architecture of the human brain. Meet the limbic system. It's the ancient, survival-focused software running in the background of your brain, instantly regulating your physical responses to emotional threats. If it sees a threat, whether that's a literal tiger on the savanna or just a really intimidating question from a detective, it reacts instantly. The limbic system operates entirely without our permission. It keeps us safe, sure, but simultaneously, it exposes our deepest, sometimes ugliest truths to anyone trained to look. But here is where this science gets incredibly empowering. Your body and your mind are trapped in a constant two-way conversation. Interestingly, just as our emotions dictate our posture, like shrinking down and making ourselves tiny when we feel powerless, changing our posture can actually trick our primitive brains. Taking an expansive, open stance, sort of like primates puffing out their chests, actually signals safety to the vagus nerve. And this isn't just theory. This exact physiological hack is now being used as a body-based therapy to treat post-traumatic stress disorder in combat veterans. You can literally use your own body language to calm your nervous system and heal your mind.
Algorithmic
And
empathy.
finally,
Section 6.
We are rapidly entering an
Algorithmic
era where
empathy.
cameras and algorithms
We
are
are
being actively trained to read our facial action codes and body language in real time. I mean, we already have smart digital billboards that dynamically shift advertisements based on whether your microexpressions read positive or negative. Crazy, right? As we teach this biological matrix to our machines, it leaves us with a fascinating and maybe a little chilling thought to end on. When machines finally learn to perfectly read the involuntary truths our bodies scream, what will you reveal tomorrow without your permission?